Imagine waking up tomorrow. Everything feels completely normal. The sun rises as it always has. Birds sing outside your window. Traffic slowly fills the streets. People rush to work. Airplanes cross the sky. Children laugh on their way to school. Across the world, billions of people begin another ordinary day. No one knows that history is about to change forever. Then, in a single instant, the impossible happens. The Earth stops spinning. Not gradually, not over hours, not over years. It simply stops. At first, you wouldn't feel the planet itself stop. After all, we've never actually felt Earth's rotation. It has always been there, silent, invisible, taken for granted. But while the ground beneath your feet suddenly stands still, everything else keeps moving. The atmosphere, the oceans, every airplane in the sky, every train on its tracks, every loose object on Earth's surface. Momentum doesn't disappear. Near the equator, the Earth spins at nearly 1,670 kilometers per hour, more than 1,000 miles per hour, faster than the speed of sound. In an instant, cities become disaster zones. Cars are thrown across highways. Bridges twist under impossible forces. Glass explodes from skyscrapers. Entire forests bend beneath hurricane-force winds unlike anything ever recorded. The atmosphere continues racing eastward, while the planet beneath it has already stopped. Around the world, winds stronger than any tornado tear across continents. Buildings collapse. Power lines vanish. Airports disappear beneath flying debris. Every aircraft still in the sky suddenly faces an atmosphere moving faster than a fighter jet. Pilots fight desperately for control, but many never get the chance. Across the oceans, another catastrophe begins. Trillions of tons of water continue moving with incredible momentum. Coastlines around the world are struck by unimaginably powerful megatsunamis. Waves hundreds of meters high race inland. Entire cities vanish beneath walls of water. Harbors, islands, ports disappear within minutes. The first hour becomes the deadliest event in human history. Billions of lives are changed forever. Yet, as terrifying as those first moments are, they are only the beginning. Because once the winds begin to weaken and the oceans finally settle, humanity discovers something even more frightening. The sky no longer changes. There is no sunrise. There is no sunset. Time itself seems frozen. One side of Earth faces the sun without end. Endless daylight, endless heat, endless summer that never ends. The other side is trapped in permanent darkness. A world where the sun never rises again. Temperatures begin to fall. Day after day, week after week, year after year. One planet, divided forever between fire and ice. But even then, humanity refuses to surrender, because throughout history, we have survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, pandemics, and world wars. The question is no longer, could Earth survive without spinning? The real question is, could we? The first minute would be pure chaos, not because the Earth itself was breaking apart, but because everything that wasn't firmly attached to it would still be moving. Imagine standing in the middle of a city. One moment, everything feels perfectly ordinary. The next, hurricane-force winds slam into buildings with unimaginable violence. Cars slide across highways. Trucks overturn. Windows explode into thousands of pieces. Trees are ripped from the ground. Rooftops vanish into the sky. Dust and debris quickly fill the air. In many places, visibility drops to almost zero. The sound would be overwhelming. Roaring wind, crashing buildings, sirens, explosions from damaged power stations and fuel lines. Entire neighborhoods disappear beneath clouds of dust. But the atmosphere isn't the only thing still moving. The oceans carry unimaginable momentum. For billions of years, Earth's rotation has shaped the movement of every sea. Now, all that water continues its journey. Massive waves begin forming across every major ocean. Not ordinary tsunamis, but walls of water unlike anything in recorded history. Some could rise hundreds of meters high. They race toward coastlines at incredible speed. Beaches vanish in seconds. Harbors disappear. Entire islands are swallowed by the sea. Coastal cities that have existed for centuries are erased within minutes. Skyscrapers stand briefly against the water before disappearing beneath it. Ships are lifted like toys. Oil platforms collapse. Bridges snap under forces they were never designed to survive. Around the world, communication begins to fail. Satellites continue orbiting high above Earth, but on the ground, power grids collapse. Internet connections disappear. Airports fall silent. Emergency services become overwhelmed almost immediately. Rescue helicopters struggle to stay airborne. Roads are blocked. Railways are twisted beyond recognition. For millions of people, help never arrives. And then, something unexpected happens. The winds begin to weaken, not because the danger is over, but because the atmosphere is slowly adjusting to a motionless planet. The oceans also begin to settle. The giant waves lose their energy. Flooded coastlines become vast inland seas. New shorelines appear where cities once stood. Continents look different from space. Entire maps must be redrawn. As the dust slowly clears, survivors look toward the sky. They expect another sunrise, another sunset, another normal day. But hours pass, and nothing changes. The sun remains frozen in exactly the same position. Shadows never move. Morning never becomes afternoon. Evening never arrives. For the first time in human history, people truly understand what has happened. Earth is no longer the world they once knew. It has become a completely different planet. One hemisphere will continue facing the sun, growing hotter every day. The opposite hemisphere will remain in endless darkness, becoming colder with every passing week. Somewhere between those two extremes lies a narrow band where life might still survive, and that thin strip of land will soon become the most valuable place on Earth. Weeks pass, then months. The violent storms begin to fade. The oceans settle into new coastlines. Humanity counts its losses. But something even more extraordinary is happening. Earth is transforming into a planet unlike any world we have ever known. On one side, the sun never sets. Day after day, hour after hour, sunlight continues pouring onto the same continents. The ground grows hotter. Rivers begin to dry. Lakes slowly disappear. Forests turn into deserts. Crops fail beneath relentless heat. Asphalt softens. Metal expands. Buildings designed for changing temperatures begin to crack. Air rises endlessly into the atmosphere, creating colossal weather systems that never stop moving. Temperatures climb far beyond what most ecosystems can survive. Many species disappear. Others migrate. Even insects struggle to survive beneath the endless daylight. But on the opposite side of Earth, a very different story unfolds. The sun never rises. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Not next year. Darkness becomes permanent. At first, cities continue glowing with electric lights. Streets remain illuminated. Homes stay warm. But as energy supplies become harder to maintain, one light after another begins to disappear. Temperatures continue falling. Rivers freeze solid. Lakes vanish beneath thick layers of ice. Snow falls, then never melts. Year after year, glaciers expand across entire continents. Cities become frozen monuments beneath mountains of ice. Roads disappear. Forests vanish beneath endless white landscapes. Eventually, only silence remains. Between these two extremes lies a narrow band circling the planet, a place where the sun forever hangs near the horizon. Here, temperatures remain surprisingly stable. Not too hot, not too cold. Scientists call it the Twilight Zone. It stretches around the Earth like a giant ring, a thin border separating fire from ice. This becomes humanity's last great refuge. Millions begin migrating toward it. Entire nations abandon their old capitals. New cities rise along this endless line between light and darkness. Engineers design buildings that can withstand powerful winds flowing from the hot side toward the frozen side. Farmers develop crops suited to permanent twilight. Solar farms spread across the bright edge. Massive energy cables carry electricity toward darker settlements. Wind turbines harvest the constant global winds created by the temperature difference between the two hemispheres. humanity begins adapting, not by changing the planet, but by changing itself. Children born in this new world never experienced sunrise. They never watch the colors of dawn spread across the sky. They never see a sunset. For them, the horizon always looks the same. Time is no longer measured by days and nights. Instead, clocks become the only way to remember what a day once meant. Ancient photographs of blue skies changing from morning to evening become priceless historical records. Museums preserve videos of sunsets. Grandparents tell stories about stars appearing one by one after dusk. To future generations, those stories sound almost like fairy tales. Humanity has survived, but it now lives on a planet that no longer feels like Earth. It feels like an alien world. And yet, the greatest challenge is still ahead. Decades pass, then centuries. Humanity refuses to disappear. Instead, it begins again. The old world is gone. Many of the greatest cities in history now lie abandoned. Some are buried beneath endless ice. Others have been consumed by scorching deserts where temperatures make survival nearly impossible. Nature slowly reclaims what humanity once built, but along the Twilight Zone, civilization is born for a second time. New cities stretch across the narrow band between eternal day and endless night. Every building is designed with one purpose: survival. Massive walls protect communities from constant winds flowing between the two hemispheres. Underground transportation networks replace many highways. High-speed trains travel through tunnels carved deep beneath the surface. Above ground, life looks very different. Solar power stations stand only a few hundred kilometers from endless darkness. On the frozen side, enormous facilities harvest fresh water by melting ancient glaciers. On the sunlit side, mirrors and cooling systems protect farms from relentless heat. Food is no longer grown everywhere. Agriculture exists only where conditions allow it. Every harvest becomes precious. Every drop of water is carefully managed. Scientists develop crops capable of growing under permanent twilight. Forests begin to return, not where they once stood, but along this narrow ring of life surrounding the planet. Wildlife adapts as well. Some species evolve to survive constant daylight. Others become perfectly suited to eternal darkness. New ecosystems emerge. Creatures that once shared the same forest now live on opposite sides of the world, separated forever by impossible climates. Exploration becomes humanity's greatest mission once again. Teams venture into the frozen hemisphere to recover ancient cities trapped beneath kilometers of ice. Others cross the burning deserts in search of valuable minerals and abandoned technology. Every expedition is dangerous. Every journey is a reminder of what Earth used to be. Schools teach children about seasons, but only through books and archive videos. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. These are no longer experiences. They are history. Museums preserve recordings of sunsets. Families gather to watch them, just as people once watched old documentaries. Children stare in amazement as the sun slowly disappears below the horizon. To them, it feels almost impossible. A world where day turns into night every 24 hours seems more like science fiction than reality. Yet humanity continues to innovate. Giant atmospheric stations monitor the powerful winds that constantly circle the planet. Space-based solar collectors beam energy back to Earth. Artificial intelligence manages water distribution, food production, and transportation across the Twilight Zone. Civilization becomes smaller, but more efficient than ever before. For the first time in history, every nation understands that survival depends on cooperation. Borders begin to lose their meaning. Resources are shared. Knowledge is exchanged freely. Humanity has learned a lesson that took thousands of years to understand. On a world this fragile, no one survives alone. But despite everything we have rebuilt, one question remains unanswered. Could the Earth ever become normal again? Or has our home changed forever? Hundreds of years have passed. The Earth no longer resembles a planet our ancestors once called home. From space, it looks almost unreal. One hemisphere shines beneath endless sunlight. The other remains hidden beneath an ocean of darkness and ice. Between them, a thin ring circles the entire planet. A narrow ribbon of life. The Twilight Zone. the last place where forests grow naturally, where rivers continue to flow, and where humanity found its second chance. Looking down from orbit, you would never know that billions of people once lived far beyond this narrow strip. Their cities still exist. Some lie beneath kilometers of ice. Others are buried under endless deserts of dust and stone. They have become silent monuments, reminders of a world that disappeared in a single moment. Yet humanity endured. We adapted. We rebuilt. We learned that survival does not always belong to the strongest, but to those willing to change. Generations born in the Twilight Zone know nothing else. They have never watched the sunrise. They have never waited for night to fall. They have never seen the stars slowly appear one by one. To them, the sky has always looked the same. History books speak of seasons. Spring blossoms, summer sunsets, autumn forests, winter snow. But these are no longer memories. They are stories from another age. Children listen with fascination, wondering how one world could change so completely. Scientists continue searching for answers. Could enormous engines placed in space slowly restart Earth's rotation? Could gravity from a passing celestial body ever change our planet's motion? Could future civilizations achieve what seems impossible today? Perhaps, but such a project would take centuries, maybe even thousands of years. Until then, humanity accepts its new reality. The Twilight Zone becomes more than a place. It becomes a symbol, a reminder that life always finds a way, even after unimaginable disaster, even on a world transformed beyond recognition. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of this story. We often believe our planet is permanent, stable, unchanging, but Earth is constantly moving, spinning through space at incredible speed, orbiting the sun, traveling through the Milky Way. Every sunrise, every sunset, every changing season exists because our planet never stops moving. It is a gift so familiar that we rarely stop to appreciate it. If Earth suddenly stopped spinning, civilization would change forever. Landscapes would transform. Oceans would reshape the continents. The climate would create two worlds on a single planet. Yet even then, humanity would continue searching, building, discovering, and hoping, because that is what we have always done. We survive, we adapt, we move forward. So tonight, if you have the chance, step outside, watch the sun disappear below the horizon, wait for the stars to appear, feel the cool air as night slowly arrives. It may seem ordinary, but it is only possible because beneath your feet, the earth is still turning. Every second, every minute, every day, and perhaps there is nothing ordinary about that at all. Thank you for watching. And remember, sometimes the greatest miracles are the ones we experience every single day without ever noticing them.